Welcome back, everybody. My name is Tim. This is another Real Ideal Gear review. And today we're looking at the Victorinox Swiss Champ. One of my favorite big multi-tools. I carry the Gerber multi-tool. I've carried a Gerber multi-tool for decades. I love the multi-tool. I have to say this, though, that I think the Swiss Army Swiss Champ is going to potentially maybe take the place of my Gerber multi-tool. I don't know. I really like the volume of tools that are on here, the variety of tools that are on here to do different tasks. And with my lawn maintenance business, there are some things that I could probably use that I don't have on my Gerber multi-tool that are either better tools on here or they have the tool on here that it just is absent on the Gerber multi-tool. So it's a wide knife set or wide multi-tool set. If you're from the camp of the compact version of Swiss Army knives, literally the Swiss Army Compact or the Victorinox Compact, yeah, you've got something that is definitely much, much thinner than the Swiss Champ. The Swiss Champ is loaded with tools. But now if you're looking at this and saying, you know, that some of the tools that are on there I'm looking forward to using, and it comes from the Ranger camp, you're not really that much wider than the Ranger, maybe 30%, a third wider than the Ranger, but you gain a lot of tools on here that the Ranger does not have, and namely you have a really good Phillips screwdriver on here, which I think is really helpful. You also have a eyeglass, where is it? Here it is right here. You have the magnifying lens, which I think is also helpful. I've actually used this already. I probably used this within 2 weeks of getting this multi-tool when I was trying to read the text on a watch that I was doing a review on, and I couldn't read the text. It was too small. Even with my reading glasses on, I couldn't read it. Put this on there, and yep, it's on there. It's relatively clear, and I got to see what the water resistance rating was. But some of those things that are on this that you don't have on even the Ranger, I think could also justify purchasing the Swiss Champ. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all these different tools. I'm going to go through and just kind of mention the standard tool set, what's added to this versus, say, the Ranger or the Huntsman. And it's pretty quick. So we have the double knives up front. We have the large and the small. We have the opener series with the can opener and bottle opener with the two flathead screwdrivers on there. We also have the scissors. And from the Tinker, which also has the pliers, this has a nice set of pliers. I want to comment on this because I think this is underrated as a plier set because you can get into small areas with this pliers that you can't get into with a multi-tool like a Gerber suspension or a Leatherman tool, something like that. This really does a good job of just getting in there, and it's actually, you can really crank down on this, on the handle here, and really get some pressure up there on the tip of the pliers. So I think it does a great job. I like these pliers. I've used them several times already on the Tinker, which I think it's just a great tool. You also have the big scissors on here, which is typical of most tools of this size. This is the 91 millimeter size. So it's pretty standard. You have the parcel hook on the back. You have the awl. You have the two small screwdrivers. You have the corkscrew with the eyeglass screwdriver in here. Now this has plus scales, and with plus scales you get the pin in here that's behind the, I'll pull this up here. You get the pin that's back in here. All right, you can see that. And then you also have on the plus scales, you have the pen, you have the toothpick, and then you also have the tweezer. Now, if you follow this channel, you know that I've modified both the Deluxe Tinker and the Huntsman to carry more than just the plus tools, which again, you have over here, you have the pen, and I have a ferro rod right here. And that ferro rod displaced the toothpick, which the toothpick ended up down here. Now I still have the tweezer up here, so I have 4 scale tools on this knife. I also have 2 holes for a pin. I lost one of the pins, but I've got 2 pins in here as well behind the corkscrew. So I'm going to do the same thing with the Swiss Champ. I'm going to add a ferro rod in here. I'm going to take this toothpick, I'm going to put it down here, and I will modify this with the new plus scales that I put on here. So when you take these scales off, you almost always, some people reuse them and they put them back on, but I think they end up being a little bit more loose, and the tendency for them to come off is a little bit higher. And if they come off, you lose the scale tools because the scale tools just slide in between that and the metal plate that's there. So that's the modification that I'm going to be doing on this. Also, I'm going to add something to this, and I just was looking at this. I'm not sure I can do this. Let me pull up the Huntsman again. The Huntsman has inside here is a small little round magnet. And that little round magnet, whatever you need a magnet for, you can magnetize the needle if you want to do something like orienteering or something, get your true north. But that magnet could be helpful for a lot of different things. It's just, it doesn't take up any space. I just put it in there. I may never use it, but I have a magnet in here if I need it for anything. So I'm going to probably put a magnet in the Swiss Champ. But the problem with the Swiss Champ is I've got the magnifying lens, a plastic lens right here next to that. So I'm not sure it'll fit there. It may fit underneath the Phillips driver. Let's pull this out. The Phillips driver may be a location for it because the Phillips driver, if you look at it, it's got this recessed. Yeah, there's some metal taken out from there. And let's see. I think it actually would fit in there. I could probably fit the magnet in there. So I'll probably place a magnet in there. So overall, this is going to be a loaded tool. I'm going to have extra things on here that with the plus scales, I'll have the ferro rod on here, the extra pin, put the magnet in here. It'll be awesome. Now, how would I carry this and for what reason? Would you pocket carry this, Tim? Yes, I would pocket carry this. If you can pocket carry some of the flashlights I see guys carrying around, it's like, man, that's a massive flashlight. And then I come across something like this. It's like, well, I want to pocket carry this. So I really can't be denigrating other people's choices with flashlights or with pocket knives or multi-tools. This is a multi-tool that really is not all that much smaller than my Gerber suspension. So I'm okay with that. At the same time, if I was going to pocket carry this, which I will, I'm going to put like a pocket dangler on here that you hook on the top side of your pocket so that the Swiss Army knife hangs on the side of your pocket, doesn't get all the way down to the bottom. I think that's the issue that I have with any knife, let alone a Swiss Army knife, is I don't want this Swiss Champ to be down at the bottom of my pocket, sideways across my leg. I want it to be vertical up against the side of my pocket. And I think if it's there, it's really not going to be that obtrusive. It sticks out. It has some width to it, so maybe getting in and out of the pocket, I have to decide which pants, that has the large enough pocket to reach into. So that'll be part of the conversation. But is this a pocket carry? I think it is. You're squeezing it in there. Like, this is going to be not the most comfortable pocket carry, but it can be a pocket carry, especially with the pocket dangler on this. For sure, any kind of jacket pocket, sling pack, backpack, work bag, inside the car, if you want something like that, inside the home. This just has a bunch of tools that are easily accessible. If you need some flashlights, if you need some flathead screwdrivers, you've got a whole bunch. You've got 4 of them here. You've got 1 on each end of the openers, and then you've got 2 in the back that are even smaller than that. So you've got options on here when it comes to just getting a tool quickly, maybe inside the home. So I really like the looks of this. I really like the function of this setup. I've looked at the Swiss Champ XXL, and I don't know about that one because I think that one really genuinely is just too big. That may be like a truck carry, car carry, just throw it in the glove box or something, or in Montana, the jockey box. Throw it in there as a tool when and if you need it. And really that's kind of where it's relegated. But this one I can see, and I've already pocket carried this, I can see this being carried around more often when I'm out doing something that I anticipate maybe needing a tool. Maybe I'm going over to help somebody out. They're moving in and they're hanging pictures, doing all kinds of stuff, and who knows what tools I need to bring with me. This would be a great setup to bring with. So that's where the uses fall in. Yes, I would pocket carry. It's not the easiest thing to pocket carry, but I think you can do it. Also, I think just the overall price of this, it's right around $100. I think it's worth it. The XXL is like almost $400. I don't know about that one. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on that particular model, but I do think it's worth it on this one, and I'd go for it. So I'm curious to see what your comments are on this Swiss Army knife, the Swiss Champ. Do you have one? I know a lot of people like to carry the Swiss Champ. Some people carry it in a pouch on their belt, a holster, whatever it is, like a leather or Kydex holster on their belt, something like that. So I'm curious to see how you guys carry it if you have one. If you don't have one, maybe you have ideas on why you don't want to have a Swiss Champ. I'm curious to see about that as well. So check out my webpage, realidealgear.com, for any used reviewed flashlights, knives, watches, all of those things. I have some limited edition watches and some cool stuff there. So check that out, and really appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. My name is Tim. This has been another Real Ideal Gear review, and we will catch you guys next time.